Hi everyone, here I am again, the Victor Television Service. Well, what a day. I haven't left my hotel, and you would be exactly the same. As I look out the window now, all I can see is driving rain, dull skies, people rushing around in the streets outside with umbrellas and raincoats and goodness knows what, and heavy coats, so I'm not going out there. Anyway, here I am, but interesting. Two interesting stories to tell you. First of all, I hope you're all well and all a little warmer than I am. I went downstairs and had a very nice lunch. Swedish meatballs. So that was nice. And then I came upstairs, had a little nap downstairs and had tea. First of all, while I was having my lunch, it was quite extraordinary. There were two fellows sitting at the next table who were English. And from what I could make out, they were architects over here working for a Swedish consortium. Fascinating to hear them talking about running down someone else's design and saying, well, I mean, it's rubbish. Rob doesn't know what he's talking about. And then I heard this guy, he went on the phone and he said, well, if he insists, I mean, if they insist on going ahead with this thing, it's quite obvious it's going to fall over. I mean, you've only got to look at the design. It looks like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So it was clearly some tower block or something they were sorting out. And all the time they were running each other's, the other person, the rival, obviously, running it down. That was fascinating listening to it, but I didn't care for them very much. However, the real joy was when I went down later and I had tea, and there was quite a lot of people there, and there wasn't much room. And I was sitting at the table having my tea and a cake, and suddenly a woman came over to me and said something in whatever language it was she was speaking. And what she was saying was, could she join me? Well, she was a woman, I would think, probably in her 70s, and she had more makeup on than Lady Gaga. Great big Woolworths curtains, earrings, you know, those great loops, lot of makeup and everything else, and dyed blonde. At least I presume it was dyed, because there were few black strands there, or dark strands. And she sat down, and I thought, well, it could only happen to me. But she sat down and she started talking, and she said, you don't mind if I join you? I said, no, of course not, no, go ahead. And she ordered some coffee and some sort of liqueur. And then she said to me, in English, and where are you from? Heavy accent. Where are you from? And I said, oh, no. She said, let me guess. I can always tell you are from Austria. I said, no. Italia? No. Then you must be English. And I said, yes, I am. And I spoke English, so yes, I am. So she said, I do admire Englishmen. They are so open, so direct. All this went on. I thought, uh-oh, I'm in for trouble here. And then she started getting a bit fresh, I suppose is the word. Now, I know you all think that I'm making this up as I go along, but I can assure you it's true. But she came from Lithuania, apparently. And she said that she's going on a world cruise. She's on her way to Oslo now. And she's going on a cruise there, which is going to take her around the world. And she mentioned all the places to me. And I thought that was lovely. And she said, what, you know the thing I like about the Englishman more than anything? And I said, no. And she said, They do know how to use it. Thought, here we go. I said, I'm sorry, what? They know how to use it. You know, the Englishmen that I have known, they know how to use it. I thought, oh gosh, what have I got myself into now? And then she said, she's never married. I can understand why. She's never married, but she's had many amours, many friends in her time. And there's no question at all in her mind about it, that she was always liked, most of all, Englishmen. So I was getting a little concerned by this time, you can imagine. And I thought, now, how am I going to get out of this one? So she wanted to carry on with this conversation about how Englishmen know who's it. And I thought, why did I get involved in these kind of sexual conversations? Why me? I mean, I'm very ordinary and a humble person, as you all know. So anyway, she carried on and she said, I would like to get to know an Englishman really well. I mean, really well. And she said, do you come to Stockholm very often? And I said, no, only for one day. Oh, that's a shame. And she said, what are you doing? So I told her the whole thing of what I'm doing and everything. And she said, oh, I must subscribe. I must give money for your course. So I thought, oh God, maybe she's a millionairess. Maybe she'll give 10,000 euros or something like that. No, but no, it was nothing like that. And so she carried on and on and on. And she said, I would like very much to meet you for a drink this evening. I said, oh, well, I've got some friends coming over this evening and we're going out somewhere. I don't know where we're going. And I was gabbling away. I don't know what I was saying, making every excuse in the world. And finally she said, well, and I quickly finished up my tea and gobbled down my cake. And she said to me, well, if you find that you are lonely tonight, she said, please contact me. I'm in the room and I can't remember what the room number was. But all I can tell you is that ever since I got back to the room, I slammed the door behind me and breathed a sigh of relief. But every time I look outside the door now, I think I can hear her out there. And I keep looking out there and slamming the door and hoping that I'm going to be safe. I mean, do I know how to use it? Do you? You meet some odd people, don't you, in this world? Anyway, unfortunately, I'm still here tomorrow. And if the weather's going to be like this, I won't see anything of Stockholm at all. You can't get out the door, it's so cold. And people now making their way home because it's, just rush hours coming to an end. But they're all absolutely soaked to the skin down there. So there's no point in my going out there, is there? I mean, it seems quite foolish. And so that's two interesting conversations. It's funny how interesting conversations are always overheard either in a coffee shop or in a service station coffee shop. And I thought that was quite interesting. Two very interesting stories of the day. But well, I don't think I'd want to go into a building that's been designed by either of these two, especially as they say that one of them is a tower block that looks like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I don't think I'd want to go in there. Anyway, that's my two stories for today. What have you all been up to? Oh dear, I wish you could tell me. I'm so sick to death of talking to myself all the time. Not fair. Anyway, I suppose I've just been sitting here watching a film on YouTube. What else can I do? But anyway, I'm looking forward now to getting away from Stockholm if it's going to be like this. The day after tomorrow, I shall be on my way to Copenhagen. So they're my two stories for this evening. I do hope that, I've had another lovely donation today from my dear friends, the Finn family. So Finns, dears, if you're all watching, I do hope you're watching. Thank you so much for your lovely donation. I'm really very grateful to you, and it's lovely that it's all going up. We've got to count the stuff in Benidorm when I get back, I know, but it's still rolling in, and it will roll in after I'm back. So all I can say is, I hope you have a pleasant evening, and think of me bolting my door, won't you, my hotel bedroom door. I keep looking over my shoulder just to make sure that, her name was Sylvan. Sylvan. I don't know what the second name was because I don't think she even mentioned it. But even if she had, I wouldn't have understood it. But I do get myself involved in some ridiculous things, don't I? Do you? Does this happen to you? If so, will you please write and tell me? I'd like to know, because otherwise I feel a bit out of it. I'm a silly old fool, aren't I? Silly young fool. All right, my dears. So that's all I'm going to say for tonight, because I'm going to maybe have a cup of tea first, and then I'm going to, guess what? Bed. But I must get as much rest as I can before I go on to Copenhagen the day after tomorrow. I just hope the sun comes out tomorrow so I can at least see something of Stockholm. But somehow it doesn't like it very much. So have a good evening or morning or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And we'll get together again tomorrow. How's that? Silly old fool I am, aren't I? Good night. God bless you all. God bless.